Both 2016 and 2017 have not been kind to Microsoft and the Xbox One, at least from a consumer perspective. Not only is the exclusive lineup a barren wasteland, save for Gears of War 4, Halo Wars 2, and the immaculate Cuphead, but Platinum Games' open-world dragon-riding loot grabber Scalebound was also canned for the foreseeable future. If an Xbox One is your only console of choice, chances are you're pretty peeved by the lack of support from top to bottom. Even the dashboard is a stuttering mess that's seen multiple iterations and overhauls, with another arriving before Christmas. However, led by head of Xbox Phil Spencer stepping in to replace the god-awful marketing skills of Don Mattrick, Microsoft have reinvested their sizable coffers of cash into where they matter most. Spencer himself has been refreshingly candid about just how much Microsoft messed up the system's launch in 2013, doubling down on hard work and customer-requested features to ensure that if you are still in Camp Xbox, you're getting a much more rewarding experience. Take exclusives out of the equation and the Xbox One excels in just about every other area. I'm Scott from OurCulture.com, and this is 8 ways the Xbox One is secretly better than the PS4. Number 8, Xbox Game Pass destroys PlayStation Now. Even back when Sony first touted PS Now, the very idea of a streaming-based service for games felt like it would encounter myriad problems, both on the server side and if your own connection was anything other than immaculate. Even with a 60 meg setup, input lag can be just a fraction off, which is enough to make something like Ninja Gaiden or any reaction-intensive game completely unplayable. Fans cried out, why can't we just download the game to our consoles for a limited period instead? And that's exactly what Microsoft allows with their Xbox Game Pass. Rather like the furtive days of HD movie rentals on Xbox Live, the Game Pass lets you install games rather than stream. Microsoft also bolstered their 100-strong library of titles with scores of Xbox 360 games and Xbox Live Arcade games ported across some other systems like, say, PS1's Castlevania Symphony of the Night. There's just no comparison here. For quick access to many past generations of games, Game Pass completely destroys PS Now. Number 7, in-game achievement tracking. Though chasing trophies and achievements was one of the main reasons to even play through a game last generation, the functionality hasn't reached its full potential this generation whatsoever. Viewing your PS4 trophy still forces you out of the game and into a menu with a slow syncing load bar, and until recently, Microsoft's attempt at viewing achievements did let you keep them active in-game, but was part of the now-defunct Snap functionality, which took up a quarter of the screen. Well, no more. With the latest dashboard update comes a really cool achievement tracker. Simply turn it on, flag a few achievements as favorites, and you can choose to have them placed anywhere on the screen. From racking up headshots to progressing towards any number of collectibles, this is a step in the right direction for a console feature that should really be surfaced way more across the board. Number 6, monthly subscription games that you actually want to play. Save for Sony pulling their finger out and offering the mighty Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain as an October freebie, can you remember the last time you got a free monthly game you actually wanted to play? The likes of Until Dawn, Just Cause 3, and Child of Light are all fantastic, but anything that jogs your memory as a notable release you missed out on are very few and far between. Most of the time it's a side-scrolling platformer or a run-and-gunner, and whilst I'm not knocking the quality of those titles, if you're offering a premium service worth $60 a year, you can do much better when it comes to representing that money each month. Microsoft understand the anticipation and value of a randomly selected bunch of games to reward their most loyal customers. And with the benefit of having cracked backwards compatibility on the 360, it means you've got ace old-school titles like Medal of Honor Airborne, Borderlands 2, or Darksiders right next to things like Sunset Overdrive, Outlast, and Oxenfree. Staggered across the month so they release in batches of 2, it's a much healthier representation of what games are available on the system and doesn't leave you with scores of forgettable, tried it, didn't like it, style fare, like on the PS4. Number 5, infrastructure. No wasted projects. Less a hardware point and more of a just what am I getting into here, the PS4 is just about the only thing Sony have put their name to this generation that receives anything close to constant attention. The PS Vita, PSVR, PS4 Pro all feel like cast-aside experiments conjured up in board meetings as executives scramble to make a play for a variety of different markets. Handhelds are still a thing? Release the next PSP. Valve's virtual reality could be huge? Create a budget handset so we can see how it goes. Consumers and developers are struggling to experience games without bugs, glitches, and frame rate problems? Make a half-step system. That'll do something. Indeed, the gaming branch of Sony is in danger of wandering into virgin territory. Various scattershot, it sounded good at the time style ideas with none of the care and attention paid afterwards. And they've also just unleashed the Xbox One X. Neither are essential, but with marketing that rolls these three systems together and keeps the focus away from gimmicks and on games at every turn, keep in mind they've just canned the Kinect for good, it's a much better brand ethos that feels way more secure. Number 4, Xbox Live lets you change your gamertag. If there's one thing, just one thing that PS4 fans request every time there's a firmware update, it's changing our damn gamertags. Many of us created these things back in the days of the PS3, 10 years ago. Do you know how much can change in 10 years? How much you grow as a person and how much your own tastes and predilections can evolve to deign one thing uncool? I guarantee the very hair on your head is a completely different style, let alone whether you thought it would be rad to call yourself Doomslayer 420. Microsoft understand this, and changing your online name is as easy as visiting their site, typing in a new one and checking to see if it's already been taken. If not, it's yours. The first change is even free, as clearly they don't want millions of people swapping their respective titles every few days. For Sony, that just isn't an option, and why? Because to hell with your self-reflective maturation period. You're teabag phenom forever now. That's why. Number 3, download speeds and patches are much faster. I'll give Sony this, they're getting better. For the longest time, download speeds and patch installs on PS4 titles were atrocious. Most likely the result of so many people joining Camp Sony at the start of the generation, fleeing anything Xbox adorned with arms flailing in the air. In 2017, you can reliably download a game in, I don't know, around an afternoon? It's not ideal, but then again, neither are average file sizes of around 50 gig. Thankfully, Microsoft servers are far more equipped with downloading huge volumes of data in a short amount of time. Being they were already on top of the world with the 360 and Xbox Live for the entire back half of the 2000s, clicking on any new release comes with the knowledge you can actually play it on the same day. Number 2, controllers. Better battery life plus elite and custom options. Swapping out parts of a pad and using things like additional flippers and paddles to reach the top of certain leaderboards is more commonly associated with the esports scene. But regardless, there are two key areas where Microsoft is wiping the floor with Sony. Number 1, battery life. Even the out-of-the-box Xbox pad has a demonstrably better battery life than the 6 hours and I'm done DualShock 4. Both controllers have received new models since launch, but the Xbox controller can reliably do a good 40 hours without needing to be plugged in, which if you're playing on PS4 exclusively, will sound like a dream. Number 2, the Elite controller. Completely optional but worth picking up if you have the cash, the Elite controller is Microsoft's deluxe rework of the standard Xbox controller. It comes with all sorts of optional button replacements and sensitivity customization settings so you can get any game feeling just right. Additional finger paddles let you map functions to help with tricky inventory or ability management in certain games, and you can even reduce the depression of the triggers to fire faster in shooters. This is the result of a company putting huge chunks of their budget into making the best controller on the market, and it shows. The only major downside is the $150 price. Lastly, Xbox have a custom design lab when ordering any new regular controller, letting you work up any color scheme that matches your decor or personality. It's worth pointing out that this isn't just shilling for Microsoft, as it shows another level of customer first thinking, something that exemplifies precisely where Microsoft are at. Number 1, free backwards compatibility. An annoying facet of PS Now streaming comes from incorporating Sony's version of backwards compatibility, or rather having certain older games get factored into a monthly fee. You have to assume they could only do this because the PS4 was so far ahead in unit sales they could afford, quote unquote, to try something so otherwise anti-consumer. Honestly, even if they insist on selling standalone releases, games like The Warriors, the GTA Trilogy, Rebel Galaxy, Ape Escape, etc. are up there as PS2 classics, but why not have the functionality to read the discs if we already own the games from years ago? Over on Xbox One, Microsoft have devoted huge chunks of their R&D budget to figure out just how the system can emulate both 360 and original Xbox games. That means everything from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic to Red Dead Redemption, Burnout Paradise to Fable 2, all will work if you just put the disc in. It's the way it should be, and it's perfect. And that's my list. Sound off in the comments whether you agree or disagree. Chances are you're probably going to disagree, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.
Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. Aren't you a star? Don't forget to like, share and subscribe below, and also there's probably more content floating up above my head, so why not check that out as well? Could be a laugh. Probably. 6 out of 10.